Legal News 15 January to 21st January 2017 by Deepak Miglani. SEBI cuts brokers turnover fee by 25%. SEBI panel for clarity in board of directors appointments. Supreme Court sought police report in 6 riot cases. Faulty laser machine at AIMS under Delhi High Court lens. Supreme Court will examine privacy violation in WhatsApp case. Women approached Supreme Court after doctors refused abortion. Dhaka court sentences 26 persons to death over abduction and murder. Punjab and Haryana High Court stays demolition of working women's hostel in civil lines, Gurgaon. Madras High Court files plea against Justice Karnan in apex court. 22-year delay leads Supreme Court to quash case. Actor Salman Khan was acquitted in an Arms Act case connected to other cases of poaching endangered species. Delhi High Court told Delhi Commission for Women to pay staff submit job records to Lieutenant Governor. Delhi High Court irked over Pragati Maidan indecision on heritage status. Expedite work on alternative route to IGI. Delhi High Court. Act on SYL or face contempt. Cannot stall SYL case till Punjab polls are over. Supreme Court. New Chief Justice J.S. Kher of India revives social justice bench. Delhi High Court junked plea seeking lower Rajdhani fare for cancer patients. Kerala High Court retreating the Supreme Court observations that consumption of liquor cannot be treated as a fundamental right. National Company Law Tribunal dismisses Mistry family firm's contempt plea against Tatas. Delhi High Court directed the government to frame comprehensive policy for e-rickshaws. Divorce granted by church, court not legal. Supreme Court. Evidence points to rapes at Murthal, find culprits. The Punjab and Haryana High Court to cops. PIL questioned enemy property ordinance in Supreme Court. Cartelization. Competition Commission of India slaps 206 crore fine on 7 cement companies. Nirbhaya convicts moved High Court in robbery case. 3-judge Tripura High Court pushed into constitutional problem. Pre-martial sex. Educated girl cannot cry rape if ditched by boyfriend. Bombay High Court. Now, news in detail. SEBI cuts brokers turnover fee by 25%. SEBI's turnover fees is a part of the fee that investors pay to the exchanges through their brokers for trading on their platforms, and the exchanges in turn pass it on to the regulator. It also charges a Rs 50,000 annual fee from the brokers. SEBI panel for clarity in board of directors appointments. A SEBI panel has proposed increased transparency in the processes for appointment and removal of board of directors. The panel has also said that companies should have better system for evaluating the performance of directors and should periodically disclose how board members have performed. The proposal comes a month after SEBI came out with a guidance note on evaluation of board of directors of listed entity. Supreme Court sought police report in Sikh riot cases. The Supreme Court sought a comprehensive report from the Center on the status of probe conducted by a special investigating team into 1984 anti-Sikh riot cases in Delhi. A bench of Justices Deepak Mishra and R. Bhanumati granted 4 weeks' time to the Center to file a report after additional Solicitor General Pinky Anand told the court that SIT was examining 650 cases in connection with the riots. The court was hearing a petition filed by S. Gurlad Singh Kehlo, a member of Delhi Sikh Gurudwara Management Committee, seeking his direction to the SIT to finish the probe so that the accused could be brought to book. Faulty laser machine at AIIMS under Delhi High Court lens. All India Institute of Medical Sciences was asked by Delhi High Court why its pulse dye laser machine used for skin treatment has not been functional for 17 months. Justice Sanjeev Sachdeva said, if you have bought a machine, you should maintain it. If AIIMS does not have funds, which I do not think is the case, then the government should pay for its repairs. Supreme Court will examine privacy violation in WhatsApp case. In a significant decision, the Supreme Court agreed to examine whether Facebook's access to details of calls, messages, photographs, and documents exchanged by 160 million Indian users of WhatsApp violated citizens' right to privacy. The court sought responses from Facebook, WhatsApp, Center and Telecom Regulatory Authority of India and also sought the assistance of Attorney General Mukul Rohtgi, keeping in mind the constitutional question raised by two petitioners. Women approached Supreme Court after doctors refused abortion. Coming to the rescue of 24-week pregnant women facing danger to her life due to a severe abnormality in the fetus, the Supreme Court gave her permission to terminate the pregnancy, though it was past the legal limit of 20 weeks. Justice S.A. Bobde and L. Nageshwar Rao allowed the plea of a Mumbai-based 22-year-old woman to undergo abortion after considering a medical report prepared by a team of 7 doctors. Dhaka court sentences 26 persons to death over abduction and murder. A Bangladesh court sentenced 26 people, including 3 senior officers from the country's elite security force, to death after convicting them of murdering 7 people who were abducted outside a cricket stadium. The bodies of the victims were found floating in a river in April 2014, 3 days after witnesses reported seeing them being bundled into an unmarked van outside the stadium in the central city of Narayanganj. District and Session Judge Syed Inayat Hossain convicted all 35 accused in the case, which has gripped Bangladesh, including 25 members of the elite Rapid Action Battalion force. 26 were sentenced to death by hanging. Punjab and Haryana High Court stays demolition of Working Women's Hostel in Civil Lines, Gurgaon. Punjab and Haryana High Court asked the Gurgaon administration not to demolish a working women hostel situated in Civil Lines area of the city. The High Court also ordered that the present inmates would not be evicted forcefully and all the basic facilities would be restored forthwith by the hostel management. The Gurgaon Deputy Commissioner, Indian Red Cross Society and Kohinoor Welfare Society, presently running the hostel, have been asked to respond. The order from the High Court bench of Justice S. Saron and Justice Darshan Singh came on the plea of one Priyanka Madan, a resident of the Working Women Hostel Civil Lines. The hostel, with 40 rooms, has a capacity to accommodate 80 residents and was constructed in 1984. Madras High Court files plea against Justice Karnan in Apex Court. Justice C. S. Karnan, who was transferred out of Madras to Calcutta High Court in 2016 for alleged judicial indiscipline, continues to court controversy. The Madras High Court has lodged a protest in the Supreme Court against Justice Karnan, who issued series of directions to the Tamil Nadu government and threatened to take up matters on his own if the state does not act in accordance with his orders. The High Court Registry said Justice Karnan has no jurisdiction over the matters related to Tamil Nadu since he is no longer a judge in that state. The application submitted, Justice Karnan ordered the state government to remove security provided to an advocate in accordance to a High Court order. In letter, he was written that if judicial order is required, I will give a suo motu judicial order from Calcutta High Court in the interest of national welfare. 22 years delay leads Supreme Court to quash case. More than 22 years after a criminal complaint was filed against two former heads of Hindustan Unilever Limited for the alleged violation of Indian standard specifications in the manufacture of toilet soaps at its factory in Uttar Pradesh. The Supreme Court cited the inordinate delay to quash the proceedings without going into the merit of the allegation. A bench of Justice A.K. Sikri and Justice R.K. Agrawal held that the case was still at nascent stage, despite the passage of almost 22 years since the criminal complaint against S.M. Datta and K.D. Dadiset was lodged. However, the court directed the company to pay rupees 10 lakh to be used for the benefits of UP Drugs Control Department employees. The complaint was filed in 1993 after the drug inspector allegedly found out that the Lux and Breeze soap manufactured at the factory did not conform to Indian standard specification, as the total fatty matter content was much below the level mandated. Taking cognizance of the alleged violation, Chief Judicial Magistrate of Unnao initiated the proceedings and summoned Datta and Dadiset. The two then approached the Allahabad High Court, which in an interim order stayed the proceedings. The case remained pending for 18 years. In 2012, the High Court dismissed the plea, but the duo approached the Supreme Court, which granted interim stay on the lower court proceedings. Actor Salman Khan was acquitted in an Arms Act case connected to other cases of poaching endangered species. Actor Salman Khan was acquitted in an Arms Act case connected to other cases of poaching endangered species because he had been booked under the wrong section of the law. Khan had been charged under section 325 and 27 of the Arms Act for possessing and using firearms for which the license had expired. The Court of the Chief Judicial Magistrate, however, said the license was valid but needed renewal every year. The Arms Act case was supplementary to three other criminal cases of poaching endangered species, black buck and chinkara, filed against him by the Rajasthan Wildlife Department in October 1998. Delhi High Court told Delhi Commission for Women to pay staff submit job records to Lieutenant Governor. Delhi High Court directed the Delhi Commission for Women to pay 50% salary arrears of 35 of its employees and provide records for those appointed by it without approval of the Lieutenant Governor. The order came on day Delhi Commission for Women Chief Swati Maliwal was summoned as an accused in a case of alleged irregularities in the recruitment process of the women's panel, with a lower court directing the anti-corruption branch to further probe and identify her associates in the crime. Delhi High Court irked over Prakti Maidan indecision on heritage status. Delhi High Court pulled up the Heritage Conservation Committee for not yet deciding on whether 62 buildings in Prakti Maidan, including the Hall of Nations and Nehru Pavilion, needed to be declared as modern heritage and be protected. Expedite work on alternative route to IGI Airport. Delhi High Court. The Delhi High Court asked all agencies to expedite work on alternate route to airport and sought status report of progress made till now. A bench of Justice B.D. Ahmed and Ashutosh Kumar also asked Delhi Development Authority by when it will be able to link its DDA Mahipalpur bypass to the national highway. Act on SYL or face contempt. Cannot stall SYL case till Punjab polls are over. Supreme Court. The Supreme Court refused to defer hearing on the contentious Satluj-Yamuna link canal issue beyond the Punjab polls and said it would not tolerate floating of its decree directing Punjab to construct the canal. A bench of Justices P.C. Ghosh and Amitwa Roy was clear that impending elections could not stall the process in the Supreme Court, that is, the adjudication of cases irrespective of their importance. The bench told the Punjab government, represented by senior advocates Ram Jethmalani and R.S. Suri, that it would not tolerate floating of its orders. New Chief Justice J.S. Kehar of India revives Social Justice Bench. Within a fortnight of taking oath as Chief Justice of India, has reversed his predecessor Justice T.S. Thakur decision and revived the popular Social Justice Bench, which was set up in December 2014. The Supreme Court had issued a notification setting up the bench when Justice H. L. Dattu was CJI. It had said in the Supreme Court several cases relating to the domain of social justice are pending for several years. The Chief Justice of India is of the view that these cases shall be given a specialized approach for their early disposal, so the masses will realize the fruits of the rights provided to them under the Constitution. Delhi High Court junked plea seeking lower Rajdhani fare for cancer patients. The Delhi High Court has junked a petition seeking direction to the railways to provide concession in fares to cancer patients traveling in Rajdhani Express. The petition was moved by an NGO and sought the relief on the ground that since most hospitals specializing in cancer treatment are in metropolitan cities and patients from far off areas connected by Rajdhani have to travel for treatment. Concession in fares would reduce the burden on them. Kerala High Court reiterating the Supreme Court observations that consumption of liquor cannot be treated as fundamental right. The second round of legal battle by a person from Perumbavoor against the government liquor policy has come unstuck with a division bench of the Kerala High Court reiterating the Supreme Court observations that consumption of liquor cannot be treated as a fundamental right. Dismissing his appeal, the bench observed that a right, however entrenched, was never unrestrained, much less unregulated. As with all other rights, right to privacy, if right to take intoxicating drinks were one, was always subject to reasonable restrictions. National Company Law Tribunal dismisses Mistry family firm's contempt plea against Tatas. The National Company Law Tribunal has dismissed the contempt petition filed by the investment firms of Cyrus Mistri's family against Tata Sons and others on the charges of violating the tribunal's December 22nd order by convening an extraordinary general meeting to consider the removal of Mr. Mistry from the company's board. Delhi High Court directed the government to frame comprehensive policy for e-rickshaws. The Delhi High Court has directed the government and the police to frame a comprehensive policies for e-rickshaws plying in the capital and asked them to consider the centre's suggestion for capping the number of these vehicles. The court direction came while it was hearing a petition filed by power distribution firm BSES Rajdhani Power Limited, which alleged that authorities have failed to put in place any mechanism for charging of e-rickshaws plying on city roads. Divorce granted by church court not legal. Supreme Court. The Supreme Court refused to give legal sanctity to divorce decrees granted by church court. This means anyone remarrying after such a divorce decree would be committing the offense of bigamy. A bench of Chief Justice J.S. Kehar and Justice D.Y. Chandrachud dismissed a 4-year-old petition by Bengaluru-based Catholic advocate Clarence Pius, who had sought legal sanctity for such decrees. He had pleaded that marriage and divorce among Catholics were governed by the Church, and in the absence of its recognition by law, unsuspecting men were facing prosecution for bigamy. Evidence points to rapes at Murthal. Find culprits. The Punjab and Haryana High Court to cops. The Punjab and Haryana High Court observed that the statements of some witnesses and the recovery of women's undergarments indicate that rapes had taken place at Murthal during the Jat Kota protest in February 2016. The court asked the state police special investigation team to find the culprits to instill confidence in the public. A division bench made these observations in open court. The judges also observed that two witnesses, one of them a taxi driver, had said that women were dragged out of their vehicles, which indicated that rapes had taken place. PIL questioned enemy property ordinance in Supreme Court. A PIL in the Supreme Court by petitioner Hussain Dalvi questioned the validity of the government promulgating the Enemy Property Ordinance for the fifth time and called it a clear violation of the recent order by a constitution bench of the Apex Court. Cartelization. Competition Commission of India slaps rupees 206 crore fine on 7 cement companies. Competition Commission imposed nearly 206 crore penalty on 7 cement companies for bid rigging and cartelization. Shri Cement, Ultratech Cement, Jayaprakash Associates, JK Cement, Ambuja Cements, ACC and JK Lakshmi Cement have been penalized for violating competition norms with regard to a tender floated by a Haryana agency back in 2012. Competition Commission of India directed them to cease and desist from such activities. After careful consideration, the regulator decided to slap penalties on the companies that is equivalent to 0.3% of each of their average turnover for the 3 financial years. Nirbhaya convicts moved High Court in robbery case. 3 of the 4 death row convicts in December 16 gang rape and murder case moved Delhi High Court, challenging the 10-year jail term awarded to them by a trial court in the robbery case. Justice S.P. Garg fixed the appeal filed by the convicts Akshay Kumar Singh, Pawan Gupta and Vinay Sharma for consideration on April 21st. All 3 accused who were convicted for dacoity and dishonestly receiving stolen property have alleged that the trial court order was bad in law and against the principle of natural justice. 3-judge Tripura High Court pushed into constitutional problem. Tripura High Court Chief Justice T. Y. Pai has written to Chief Justice of India J. S. Kehar seeking resolution of a peculiar constitutional crisis faced by the Tripura High Court, which is operating with 3 judges against the sanctioned strength of 4. In his letter, the High Court Chief Justice said intra-court appeal against a single judge's order before a 2-judge or divisional bench was piling up and that he was finding it difficult to constitute the required bench. He requested the Chief Justice of India to transfer these pending appeals to another High Court in the region to facilitate early justice to litigants. With a working strength of 3 judges, when an appeal is filed against the judgment authored by a particular judge, he cannot be part of the division bench. Educated girl cannot cry rape if ditched by boyfriend. Bombay High Court. A promise to marry cannot be considered an inducement in every rape case. The Bombay High Court has ruled while granting pre-arrest bail to a 21-year-old youth after his former girlfriend lodged a case of rape following their breakup. Justice Mridula Bhatkar held that an educated girl who has consented to have premarital sex should have taken responsibility for her decision. The judge said that though society was changing, it carries the baggage of morality. Since generations, there is a moral taboo that it is the responsibility of a woman to be a virgin at the time of marriage. However, today, the young generation is exposed to different interactions with each other and is well informed about sexual activities. Society is trying to be liberated but carries baggage of different notions of morality, wherein sex before marriage is a matter of censure. Under such circumstances, a woman who is in love with a boy forgets that to have sex is her option, like her counterparts, but refuses to take responsibility for her decision. Thank you